trying to figure all this out. Like, it's still so new to us that it's just, I don't know.
We definitely sort of wing it.
Yeah,
a lot, which
it usually works out.
Yeah, I would say I think that makes for a good interview when folks are just winging it.
Yeah,
winging it. How many episodes have you guys done?
This is number 10, man.
Yeah.
Number 10.
So it's kind of important.
Well,
I feel like.
did you want to? Like, I can do number 11 if you.
Yeah,
want
actually,
to. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go ahead.
if you need to get like David or someone really wild
Someone
in here,
cool.
like,
Yeah.
I will gladly back down for that. But
Yeah, we can just record this and we'll just do another one tomorrow and then just release that and
Yeah,
save this one for like 14 or something, like really random.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
it'll come out years from now though that this was the real official number 10.
Right.
People will be mad. Warring factions of your
Of
future podcast
all
fans.
6 of our fans.
Right.
Oh, trust me. In a few years, like 24 to at least 30.
I'm really just shooting for 20
20 is good.
for overall lifespan, and then
Of the podcast?
Yeah. 20 years. Let's go.
20 years
Oh.
or 20 episodes?
Yeah, no,
20
years.
people, 20 listeners.
20 years strong is where you guys are headed.
Dude, 20 episodes might take 20 years because we do this very slowly.
Dude, you're on 10 already.
10, but it's been... I mean, we were hit a pretty good streak there for a while where we were doing like one every week. And then the last couple of weeks I've just been like...
Life has just been.
It's
I
been
mean, yeah,
happening.
I feel like that's how these things go.
Yeah.
It's not.
For a while, and then, either the folks doing them get busy with other shit and it fizzles out, or it becomes like a weird snowball thing where it just turns into like, holy shit, this is like something that we can do full time and like market and make money off of. And
I would love to be able to do that.
yeah, but also we're just kind of hanging out talking about the shit that we want to talk about.
Right.
That's
one of
pretty
those-
surreal.
Yeah.
Like, if it happened, if it turned out to be like a cool actual source of income, or like,
Yeah.
this might be viable to do full time, great. But if not, that's also cool.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not losing anything doing this.
And
No.
I think that's how most good artists, I feel, approach their shit.
Well, and we've had this stuff for, like, all this stuff to do it forever.
Right.
And we were always like, man, we should do a podcast one day. Like, and then I think just one day we were just kind of like, why don't we just,
We're like,
just do
we
it?
literally can just do it.
Do
Oh,
it.
boy,
Right now.
like, there are so many things. Literally
Yeah.
everything in my life right now that I'm like, man, I'd totally like to do that
Yeah.
one day. Like, I have everything available
Yeah.
to me to do that today.
All the resources.
But my brain says, just not today, but someday.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
sounds
Not
like
today.
that could be really
You
interesting.
got a lot of
sometime.
things going on today. You got to worry about other things.
Right. Yeah.
And then that
It's a
goes
struggle.
on for years.
Yeah. No, that's for sure.
I feel like this whole last year has been that for me.
Man,
Just
I've got 5 years going strong on this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm telling you. And I think that's, everybody goes through that for sure. But
it's
yeah,
rough.
For whatever reason, a lot of folks our age have been going through it these last couple years. Because shit is weird
Yeah.
everywhere.
that's true.
But I
Totally
don't know.
opposite of what most people thought it'd turn out to be. Like,
Right?
like, oh, we were expecting things to just get better, and
life
kind of smooth out. Not that things
it all
aren't
took a
better than
weird
how they
turn.
used to be, but
But Dan, you're doing well. Got yourself a home, a lovely place.
Thanks, man.
Jim,
I'm
you're
still here.
gainfully employed,
I am.
and you're well rested,
yeah, I just had a nice nap,
and
so
I'm figuring it out. So
I
That's
think
cool, man.
we can all climb in that boat.
Yeah.
That's,
It's
we
weird.
can all take a sip of
yes,
this
because the
delicious
ship is sinking.
Miller Lite.
So, oh yes.
Are we allowed to say that?
Well,
I'm trying to get
if Miller's
endorsed.
going to give us money,
So-
then hell yeah.
Right. No.
If not, then I'm going to say it anyway because that's what we're.
It is a
drinking.
fine Pilsner beer.
Yeah, that's what
It's
the
a
can
fine
says.
Pilsner beer.
Yeah. It is weird whenever people are like come over and they're like, "So do you just like? Is this like your space up here, or like because this is like usually where we hang out?" And they're like, "So this is like your kind of where you live in the house?" And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I live in the whole house.
I actually live wherever I want in the house.
And they're like, okay, oh, cool. Like, do you
They're
have
like,
like
every
roommates
room?
and you rent it? And I'm like, no, we bought it.
I have
My
one
girlfriend and
roommate.
I.
It's my girlfriend.
Yeah,
She also
yeah.
lives in this home with me.
Yeah.
She's
It's
also
hers
the
as well.
homeowner.
And people, like, it is kind of weird to own a house right now. People are like,
Hey, man.
you own, like, how did
24?
you... 23.
You're
Even better.
You're like one of the most on paper, like you're like years ahead of everyone.
on paper,
I don't
it's
feel
incredible.
like I feel like that's not true. And
In
that's
the flesh,
key. Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah. When I'm right in front of you, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, you're
But,
going with a whole new look. You're a bearded, skinny Jesus.
Hey man, you're looking pretty
Dude, you look amazing.
good as well.
Thanks.
You're looking like a pretty hot.
I think
lad.
everybody watching this podcast right now will agree.
Watching. Yeah.
They can see how great we look.
Yeah. No, yeah, but it's, I don't know. It's kind of a cool, like, I guess, like, I don't know, badge. Like,
Moral of this tumble off is that we're all doing a little better than I think we are.
yeah. We're all doing a little better than we constantly are, like, criticizing ourselves
I
for,
forget.
probably.
I forget.
We're
to
all
look on the
employed
bright
full
side
time, and
Do what?
sometimes. I said forget to look on the bright side sometimes.
Yeah. No, it's difficult, but
Yeah.
I guess we should probably introduce you
Yeah.
a little bit too.
Hey,
so we just met this guy.
I was hanging out.
Yeah. So we've got Alex Tunks here from several different things going on in Kansas City, and kind of other areas too. I mean, Chicago, Kansas City, kind of hybrid thing going on. So yeah, we brought him in. Super good friend of ours. We played music with them, and been friends for probably what?
I've known these guys for a while. It's been
It's probably been like 4 or 5 years.
yeah, I'd say.
But I've known who you are for like a long time.
No,
through.
don't do that.
Well, no, I don't mean like that. Like,
I've been watching you.
no, I've read about you and stuff. Like, no, but
Through
just
Tom.
through other, mutual friends.
Yeah,
Our friend
we met
Tom.
through Tom. Shout out to Tom.
Yeah, miss that guy. Hope Tom's doing well. I think he is. I usually every couple weeks I'm just like, hey, hope you're good. And
He's a
like,
good man.
I hope you're good too, and we're both good, I guess.
Love him to death.
Yeah, love the guy. So yeah, it's probably been 4 or 5 years, but yeah, I've known.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes.
It's good to be
Thanks
here.
for agreeing to
Oh,
be
of
a
course.
test subject for us.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, hanging out talking. That's what we're good at.
Yeah, we basically could have probably recorded the last, like, we've been hanging out for.
Oh yeah, I've been here
few
for
hours.
I've been here for hours. So
It's been like 3 hours or something.
all of the good content has probably already been spoken of.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry for
I'm
what's to
exhausted.
come. Yeah.
I'm exhausted, honestly. No, but yeah, Alex is in quite a few different bands and doing cool shit around here, so we thought it would be.
I got some fucking bands going on, man.
Yeah.
That's about all I know how to do anymore.
Yeah.
Is play music with my friends and try to take it as far as we can, but not hang on to it too hard. And
Yeah.
Is that your way of staying like even keeled and
yeah, kind of like what you were saying about the podcast earlier. That you know, I think anytime I start a band or join a band or anything like that, the overall vibe of the band is to do really whatever we want and take it as far as it'll go. And if it's not going to go any further, then they can fucking bail out,
Yeah.
abandon ship,
try
and,
again? Yeah.
It's like Spellbook.
hop on another ship. Exactly. No, Spellbook is the unsinkable ship. Spellbook is everything the Titanic wished it could be. But it's mysterious. It goes away and returns.
Sometimes it just floats off and no one knows where it went.
Yeah,
it'll
David
just
and
sail
I
back
actually
in.
spoke of this the other day, just about how Spellbook will never break up. For those who don't know, Spellbook is the band that Dan and Jimmy and I and a few of our other friends played in for a while, and it's mainly Dan's brainchild that we helped facilitate and bring to life. And
Yeah.
we really just what did we play like
maybe 7 or
to
8.
date? Yeah, we've played less than 10 shows. I think officially
Over,
we've
like,
been a
4
band
years.
for 4 years. And all of the shows have been well, not all of them, but most of the shows have been just kind of like house parties and like last minute things.
And like 4 of them were in the same house.
The same house, yeah, the same party.
It's like, hey, I'm having a party
The
again. You guys wanna
annual
play?
party again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the house band.
Dude, that was so much fun, though.
But that's a band where it's kind of the ultimate side project.
Mm-hmm.
And we get together when we can.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
It's never.
Usually
6
every
months,
6
too.
months, yeah.
It's been probably been like 2 years. hasn't it?
Well, speaking of, old Commander Chavez hit me up the other day in regards to a potential Spellbook 2018 sighting.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's a perfect way to put it.
I won't get too much into what he's cooking up because I don't know. I don't know if it's like mysterious David stuff. I always it's always safe to assume that anything Dave's doing is mysterious.
Yeah, he's kind of that guy. He's always.
That's why Youth Pool is so great.
He's an alien.
Shout outs to Youth Pool.
Youth Pool is
David
great.
Chavez and the Youth Pool crew.
That recording I did for Youth Pool turned out really well. I was happy with it.
It did. That was
I was a little
very
nervous
fun.
about that, but
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Those guys are great.
yeah,
Another band that I think that whole David Chavez Youth Pool collective is very interesting to me because it's similar to Spellbook, but a little different. Where their physical form may die, but the spirit lives on and regains another form. But it's always just a reincarnation of the same band, but not at all in a boring or
Just picking right at.
regurgitated way. Yeah, it's every new band they start is just like the next chapter of the first band they started,
it's actually really cool.
which is great.
Now that you say that, that's like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I talked with Micah, their drummer, about it at length not too long ago, in a similar setting. He was inclined to agree.
So you've got quite a few things going on yourself.
I do. I'm playing in a few bands right now. I play guitar in Spine. We are the hybrid Kansas City Chicago act. It's just fast, mean, hardcore punk.
How long have you been?
We've been doing that for I'm always foggy on an exact date, but it's in the realm of 5-ish years.
Okay.
I think it's 2012. Yeah, 5, probably almost 6 years.
Wow. That's the longest anyone's been in a band that I know.
It's the longest I've been. It's the longest I've been in a band, and since we are so infrequent, for a band that's been a band as long as we have, outside of Spellbook,
Yeah.
having an 8-hour gap between your drummer puts a damper on playing smaller local shows that we would love to play. But as you can imagine, it is expensive to get someone here from 8 hours away via virtually any means of transportation.
Well, and I think that it makes it a little bit special though whenever you guys do play.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's one of my favorite bands I've ever been in, just because John, our drummer, something about the way he plays clicks exactly with my brain as a drummer as well. And we just lock in immediately. And then Dylan, our bass player, is also a drummer. And
Perfect.
I think something about that enables us to go sometimes 6 months without even seeing each other, and then get together and not even practice and play a show. And,
do you guys for real?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Man.
And beforehand, Dylan and I'll get together and kind of do the awkward, goofy, unplugged guitar strumming because we don't have a drummer. So we'll just kind of mouth and sing the songs to each other, make sure we're playing the right notes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it.
That's something that weird I've noticed with multi-instrumentalists, noticeably with drummers who play guitar or vice versa. they all seem to have some like ability to just understand music in a way where you can just get together at any time, and like it's a weird combination of thinking.
Yeah, a lot of it just
like
boils down to being able to count.
That's huge.
It's really insane. I was thinking about this.
It's weird how hard that is when you actually think about it.
As a drummer from a young age, I started playing drums in like in 4th or 5th grade. Whenever they let you join
the band
in elementary school, ever since then, I've just kind of been brainwashed into counting to 4, and then subdividing that in the millions of different ways that you can. And I didn't realize it as a kid, how important it was, and truly fucking hated it. Like it distracted me from playing because I wasn't thinking about both things at once. But
so you're saying it actually kind of slowed you down?
It did. It did when I was younger. But I guess I did it enough. I stuck with it enough. I took drum lessons and played with school bands and stuff all the way through high school. So enough years of
background
of painful subjugation to metronomes just being loudly blasted at my head.
You kind of understand like sheet music and theory.
I love it. Well, theory not so much because I was a percussionist, so
hit this.
Notes and
I guess that's true.
Whatnot tend to escape me sometimes.
It's much like rhythm.
I can for sure. Yeah, I'll fuck up some rhythmic sheet music. But, man, counting. It's just count. If you don't know how to count and you'd like to be a better musician, learn how to count. It's easy. It's also a pain in the ass.
Deceptively easy.
Don't go into the mindset that this is going to be easy or too hard. Just fucking do it. Learn how to count. It'll make you better.
It's like any video where you watch like Victor Wooten, great bass player, probably like one of the best ever, but he'll just say like, all right, here's counting with a metronome at this ridiculously slow speed, and then he'll turn that metronome off. He's like, that's all you got to do is just keep that rhythm going without the metronome. He's like, just try that, because that's something that I struggle to do. So it's like real basic stuff that you can use to just improve overall.
It's very interesting to me within the realm of music that I tend to indulge myself in, and the musicians that I surround myself with in punk and hardcore, and how many of them are scared to death of a metronome. And rightfully so. I mean, if you never practiced with one or
Dude, it sucks.
They're fucking annoying. They're annoying.
I'd probably been playing for like 3 or 4 years before I even like knew what a metronome was, and then trying to play to that, like in my first band ever, like in a studio setting, like I just like melted. Like,
I have never recorded with any of my bands to a metronome.
Really?
Nor have I recorded, like engineered or produced any bands that have recorded with a met.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even spellbook?
No, I think we just winged it.
That blows my mind.
Winged of bird.
Wing of bird.
That's right, 'cause you had just laid down all the drum parts when we got there.
I think...
Yeah, we already done.
Or maybe you played me a scratch track or something.
We had a scratch track.
You might have played along to that.
I think that's what it was. I just played along to the demo songs you recorded, and so I had a drum track laid down. So I guess
you didn't
technically
directly have a click, but I had played to a click.
I was playing on time because I was playing to.
It still had a human feel.
Bands.
Yeah, very humanistic. But that's crazy. That blows my mind because whenever I'm playing music, I'm very, very like locked onto the grid. So like all the timing and all of the, you know what I mean, all the syncopation and stuff, and all the delay hits and stuff are very, I'm thinking like it's all grid locked almost. So that blows my mind that you do that.
Well, see, but you can like there's a bit of sloppiness that is necessary with punk music.
Absolutely, and it's supposed to be kind of like raw.
Yeah,
it's supposed to sound shitty in a way.
There's definitely a window of sloppiness that you should definitely fit inside, because too clean and polished sounds
not punk,
to the
it's-
listener. It sounds disingenuine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not punk.
And too sloppy is just come on. No.
Yeah, come on.
Tighten up those screws a little bit, brother.
Right.
It's too sloppy. But yeah, so metronomes usually aren't needed
Yeah.
with that type of stuff.
Yeah, because you're more kind of feeling it out than anything.
It
I
is,
think.
yeah. No, it's a lot of
It's like an
literally
expression.
just playing off the rhythm section. Follow the drummer.
I mean, I definitely got to say, like, your guys' shows are, like, unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, it's
Spine shows in Kansas City are
nuts,
a lot
man.
of fun.
It's nuts.
It's an experience because we get to do it, maybe twice a year if we're lucky.
It's like a big party.
Yeah, it is. It's a reunion.
Yeah.
You know, all the old guys and gals who haven't come to shows in 5-6 plus years, and probably won't go to many other shows. Granted, given whatever old man hardcore band is reunited and touring that year, it's cool. I mean, we draw people from smaller towns in Kansas and Iowa and stuff like that we don't really ever get to play anywhere closer to them than Kansas City.
So they see that, and they're making like road trips out to see you guys.
Yeah, which is
really cool.
I mean, it's incredible that
You
would
get to be a band.
Yeah, that people would travel
People do that
20
for.
minutes from their house to the venue to see my band, let alone outside of the city
Yeah.
to a city that isn't theirs. It's wild to me, but
Yeah, when
I'm
you guys,
eternally grateful for that shit.
Yeah, that's
cool.
When you guys get together, it's like, I mean, it's magnetic, like drawing. It draws me in. Like when I see Spine pop up, it's like, oh shit, man, I gotta at least I gotta try to go to this.
And I don't know. I've tried to put my finger on what it is because we're not fucking reinventing the wheel musically here. I love everything that we write, but it is what it is. It's tough, fast, simple hardcore.
He's being very modest.
I mean, like,
It definitely has its like. It's got.
it's good.
flavor,
Don't get me
though.
wrong. Yeah, no, I'm not a.
It's got its own flavor. To me at least. Maybe I don't listen to enough of it to know.
It does.
hear.
We took a couple things within the hardcore punk world that usually hadn't been combined and kind of fucking smashed their heads together and wiped the blood away. And
It is what it is.
here's what it sounds like to mix up power violence and youth crew and various different things that don't go together. So it turns out they do if you just do it fast enough and for long enough.
Right.
If you just keep doing
You just
it,
keep
then-
doing. People
yeah.
get used to it. That's all you have to do.
It's a slow rolling snowball effect.
I've definitely seen some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen in my life at Spine shows.
Boy, the music video show was
Dude, that was
just
cool.
pure absurdity.
That's kind of like a question I was looking at that I'd written down for you. I was going to ask, like, if you had a favorite, like, story just from a show or like being on tour or something, a favorite memory.
that
or, like,
That one is for sure always going to be at the top of that list, but that it's a bit of an outlier because.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
What you popping over there?
It's time for a nicotine laced toothpick. I certainly will have one.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. What do I think, Jim?
Sure.
The music video show was the coolest show ever, but also not staged in any way. But when people know you're filming a music video, and
Yeah.
also us incorporating live shots into the video necessitated us playing the song live. Probably, I think we did it 4 times in the same set, so it didn't roll like a normal show did.
Yeah.
The first 2 bands played like a normal show, and then Spine got up, and we have to give the disclaimer of the.
It's almost like a job at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, welcome to the video. If you didn't know you're going to be filmed, you're about to be filmed. If you don't like that,
Right.
here's your opportunity to leave. And
No one
so
left.
people tend. I'm glad nobody was tricked and
Yeah.
came
I thought
to the
this was
show.
a real Spine show.
Yeah, I didn't know they were filming videos. Yeah, dude, we sold out. It's video time.
Yeah.
But, you know, people are prone to act a little more absurd
Yeah.
when they know the camera's watching, which is totally okay and exactly what we wanted, because that's what you want in a music video, is absurdity, especially if you're putting live shots in.
Right.
So that's always going to be the top of my like craziest show list ever, because it immediately the set started, and within 5 seconds a 2-pound bag of all-purpose cooking flour had been exploded into this gigantic warehouse space that was just filled with people, and
Everything was covered
truthfully,
in flour.
I was furious. All of my shit was.
No.
All of my shit was just fucking. My pedals and my pedal board are still all powdery.
Now it's like it's.
I just made sure they worked afterwards and said, I don't care.
It's probably
fine.
all like coagulated. It's gotten like wet and it's got all
Sweat
soggy.
dripped onto it.
Oh yeah, no, it's
a
mess.
dough now.
It's a
like-
mess.
It's dough. Yeah.
But I think unfortunately it did ended up messing up a few of the really good live shots that we were getting.
Did it really?
Just because the gigantic bag of flour exploded mysteriously, and shortly after that, road flares and smoke signals were being lit and moshed with, and fluorescent light bulbs being smashed overhead.
Yeah, it was.
I just kind
so
of
funny.
Closed my eyes halfway through the set and said, I don't want to see any more of this. I'm just gonna let this happen, and I'll see the finished product.
Dude, I was laughing.
It's out.
So...
It came out, and there's always a bit of apprehension being, a hardcore band or a punk band, any sort of underground band, and releasing a music video, which seems to be a very commercial thing to do.
Yeah.
Which inherently it is. We're promoting our band.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
Exactly. But you get pushback from that from fans in the community. But
yeah,
we took the approach of hey, this is genuinely something that we want to do, but we're also have a good sense of humor about our band, and we're all pretty goofy guys. So let's try to make this a tongue-in-cheek, kind of funny video where everybody looks tough and is acting hard in abandoned alleyways and the most absurd bombed out areas of the West Bottoms and downtown Kansas City. And we had our buddy Adam DeGrosse, who's a legitimate famous photographer and videographer. He's worked
very
with
good.
Lil Peep and ASAP Ferg.
He's on tour with Post Malone.
He's on
right
tour
now.
with Post Malone right now, and
It's mind-blowing.
It's a stroke of luck that Adam is, and hopefully will continue to be a lifelong punker.
Yeah.
And he and our drummer John have known each other for a while. John's been in bands, and Adam's from Minneapolis, and they've just had a connection forever since he was just shooting photos at hardcore shows. And he is admittedly very good at what he does. And
absolutely,
luckily it took him somewhere, and now he is fucking big deal shit. So when the option of a music video came up, obviously we said we got to call Adam. We got to get him in on this, and he killed it. He did a phenomenal job. Working with him was great, and I absolutely would love to do it again.
Yeah,
with anything.
Super nice dude. I was happy to be able to just help out.
Yes, you did.
I
appreciate your help on that too.
Yeah,
that was good.
Dude,
You got some good flicks.
I loved it. Just kind of like B-roll stuff.
Yeah.
But just in case he ran out of shit or whatever.
It'll come out in the box set in 10 years when we're all dead.
It'll be all the the uncut, the director's cut.
Yeah, bargain bin.
Yeah, it was cool. That was a good experience for me. I would definitely do it again.
That was a good show. I would say outside of that show, which is just another outlier show in itself, but the last Blindside USA show that we did at the El Torian, that was that was a really wild show for me. I've never had a last show with a band before. Any band that I've been in that's like broken up before has just either like
just stopped.
Yeah,
abruptly.
in a not great way. Like people just stop talking to each other and we stop playing music, or it just kind of fizzles out and like nobody talks about it again. We just keep
It's an unspoken agreement.
Exactly.
You just have a new band.
And I didn't want that to happen with Blindside, because for whatever reason, when something like that ends unresolved, it leaves a weird open-ended void in all of our friendships, where it's like we need closure on this somehow. You know, this thing's kept us glued together for
like
the last 3 years.
It is.
Exactly.
It literally is a breakup.
Yeah, and so we said let's do one last gig and see how many friends we can get to play it and come hang out and
celebrate it.
We got a few, and we had it at the El Torion, which is was once upon a time a very cool old semi-legendary punk and hardcore and just really independent alternative music venue in Kansas City, and disappeared for a long time, and that building was like
it's like a wedding venue? Or...
Yeah, well, it was after it stopped being the El Torion officially, the people, some folks who own the Holy Cow...
Music Market?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those guys, they had some sort of stake in El Torion, and they would do their Holy Cow flea market swap and shop thing on Sundays at the old El Torion building.
Okay.
But every other day of the week, it was just the empty El Torion, which I think literally back in the day, like when our parents were kids, it was a skating rink. It was like the El Torion was a skating rink.
I remember
they would kind of do like YMCA-esque, like youth culture events.
Yeah.
So they never really changed. They just took the skating rink out.
Yeah. It's a different side of culture.
Yeah. And so it finally went away, and then Holy Cow moved across the street to that much smaller and cooler building. And then it was just empty for a while, and then a church bought it. And a hush fell over the crowd.
Yeah.
Everybody in town between the ages of, I don't know, 24, 25 to fucking probably 40 was like real just quietly bummed that someone didn't buy the El Torion and reopen it.
Right.
It was kind of, I think, like the same way when the Beaumont Club closed.
Yeah.
I think everybody was
like
no,
the last one.
It's okay. Someone will swoop in.
Yeah.
And
they'll at least
invest a bunch of money in this.
Let it fail, and then someone will do it again.
No, they're gonna turn it into a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's
good barbecue.
Yeah, it's
apparently.
fine. No,
haven't had it, but apparently it's good.
It's something else now.
It's fine
officially.
Oh, it's not Char Bar anymore?
What?
Is it Char Bar?
Oh no, I was asking.
Oh yes, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's
Last time I saw it was Char Bar.
Because I knew they'd shut down. Because I think we actually had played in, or the band Evelyn Awake had played there for the last show, or something.
Was that the last show at Beaumont?
I think it was.
Yeah, I think so too. They were practicing at next door to us at the Storage Mart.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, Jimmy was in that band.
Yeah, that's weird. I played. Yeah.
Oh, hey Jim.
I kind of like.
Whoa, Jim! What's up, dude?
It's weird.
Well, how have we never had this conversation?
I don't know. I think it's just because that was a kind of short-lived thing.
Well,
for
yeah.
me.
Remember when you guys practiced like next door to us?
Yeah.
At the practice space. Me too.
That same practice space that we've been going to for like 10 years.
Dude, I've ran into people, so who are like they're like in their adult lives and they have like families and shit, and like somehow through conversation I figured out that they like used to be into like the hardcore scene and stuff, and they're like they'll be like, do they all still practice at the Storage Mart? And it's like a notorious
That's hilarious.
It's not just us. It's
a bunch of bands. Yeah,
it's not just the punkers up there. It's
you hear like some crazy speed metal in the back sometimes.
Okay, so to give some background, we meaning my bands and most of my friends' bands, I suppose.
It's a pretty big community of bands up there.
Yeah,
all different
at least
styles.
we all practice in a storage unit at the lovely Storage Mart, who's not paying me to endorse them, but
No.
they're great and we love them.
Paying me to be here tonight.
But they got a gate. So
And so this one Storage Mart in town has a pretty big lot, and they have a building of units that's I guess not specifically dedicated to the bands, but that's just where they stick all the bands. It's in like the very
Yeah.
the very
Yeah.
back corner.
they don't know why it's happening, but they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Making fat
We pay them.
stacks.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
pay them reliably, and
No one's bothered.
Don't trash their stuff.
People aren't
'cause,
living in those places.
Well, it depends. There was a man living next door to ours for a minute.
But he
that
can't
shit's
say
always
anything.
wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's some wild stuff. But so the band unit is kind of like there's someone there at any given time of any day of the week. At least one band or one person there playing music in one of the units.
Might just be a guy playing drums.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone
it
might just
usually
be bored
is.
up there.
Practicing.
And it's kind of wild. It's like walking through a infographic of like music genres.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna step over to the metal unit now, and it's like the one metal drummer there who's literally just, you walk in and he's playing double bass faster than you've ever heard.
Yeah,
just do a click track in his headphones.
Yeah.
And he's not even playing drums really. He's just playing
Trying to get the
double
kick
bass.
down.
He's just, and it's so fucking machine like, and he just goes.
Yeah.
He'll go for seemingly hours on end.
Yeah. When we first started practicing there with Spellbook, there would be people practicing, and I would recognize their music and be like a little bit like, oh shit, they practice. Like, that's actually pretty fucking
Yeah,
cool. Like,
so-
those guys. Like,
Yeah, there's
those
some
guys
bands
that I
in there
kinda,
that I've known since I started listening to kind of the local music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
so
of those
I
metal
think
bands.
It's like
a
a band
lot
I
of-
look up to is playing, a couple,
It's
rows
a
down or
lot
whatever.
of Kansas City's various different underground music scenes, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And it's because they're we're a small city, and obviously most of these underground scenes touch over onto one another in some way or
Yeah,
another.
everyone kind of knows everybody, and
Clearly, Jim and I just found out.
yeah, you guys have been best buds for years and didn't know it.
That our freak subcultures have overlapped.
We've collided many times.
So word spreads that hey, Storage Mart is renting out units for a very reasonable price, and you can go up there and be loud at any time of day
That's
or
the
night
hugest
for as
thing,
long as you
yeah.
want.
The time is the big,
Yeah.
it's a big one.
Yeah. So it's a pretty easy sell for me. I'd like to be buried in our practice space unit.
Yeah,
I want
my
to
grave.
pull up and there be a little memorial.
Yes,
for
just dig up the floor and put me underneath it,
it'll be
and put the lock on it.
it'll be like on the fence where
It's my tomb.
Yeah,
Tomb me in there with all my shitty PV gear.
you. Someone just writes R.I.P. Alex in the fence with little like cups that they
with
stick
cups
in
of
there.
trash that they pull out from
That's
the
all
other
they
side
get
of the fence. Yeah, no, I want to be buried in my PV cab.
this will be
That
your coffin.
gigantic big ass PV cab inside my little mausoleum practice space.
I wanted to ask you more about Spine, man.
All right.
We've got a lot of stuff going on over there.
Fuck yeah, man. So we have a new LP coming out. June the 15th, I believe, is the general release date through Bridge 9 Records, who is honestly, it's kind of wild to me that I'm putting out a record with Bridge 9 because 10 years ago as a kid, I had Bridge 9 posters on my wall, and that was my shit. So it's very cool
Yeah.
to be able to work with
Kind
them
of surreal.
and have their support, and they've been incredible to us so far. It's been a really, really like painless and enjoyable process, which
That's cool.
yeah, doing a record as most folks can attest to is usually not.
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
not
I
either.
think
It's not really great until it's done and out and you can sit back and listen to it. But the legwork of recording and releasing anything, especially if you're doing it on your own, is usually very frustrating to say the least at times.
Yeah.
But it's very good to have them helping with all sorts of shit. We went up to Chicago last summer. It was last August to record the record with Andy, our good friend Andy Nelson at Bricktop Studios in Chicago. I think he did a fucking killer job on the record. Anything Andy does is, in my opinion, of just sonic brutality to its finest. The man knows his way around heavy music, for sure, of any ilk. And so he just really stepped in and did us a solid, and honestly took the sound of Spine to a place that it hasn't been before, which is kind of something we shoot for. Every record sounds a little bit different, and we try to do something different just because we draw influence from so many different things, bands and genres and what have you, that every record tends to reflect a little more of one thing than the other. And yeah, I'm very excited for this record to come out, because it was the first time that I had ever recorded in like a real studio.
Real studio equipment.
The aforementioned storage unit practice space also moonlights as a recording studio for me. So that's been my Abbey Road for 5 years now.
So they had like a sound booth and probably like
a fucking console. Wow. Like a vast selection of amps I've only seen on the internet.
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
Incredible. Yeah.
It's like
and someone who knows exactly what they're doing.
It's like
instead of just
that's
me turning knobs and pointing microphones at things until it sounds okay.
It's like what you picture as being in the studio.
It was without being like so. I'm glad this came up, because I was thinking about this on the way here. The whole experience at Bricktop was very cool, just because I've always kind of like shied away from the whole big time studio thing, and not in any sort of pretentious way or anything other than holy shit, that's really expensive, and also I kind of don't know what I'm doing most of the time musically, so I don't want.
You want to be on your own time.
Yeah, I don't want to like waste some professional engineer's time or my own money because me and my friends are having an off day and can't fucking figure it out, and waste a whole day trying to track one 45-second song. That's always put in a weird amount of pressure on me that I feel like stifles some sort of creativity. But Andy, being a friend of ours, took a significant amount of that pressure off, just because he's a bud.
He's got it covered,
right? And he knows exactly what he's doing. But the studio itself, I'd never been there, only seen pictures. And we get there, and it's in a big warehouse that shares space with like a wood shop that they make real nice like kitchen countertops.
What's the name of this place again?
Bricktop. Bricktop Recording.
Okay, I think I've actually been there before on like a tour that we went on at Summit Tech Academy or whatever. This class I took and learned about like AV stuff. I think for a field trip or something we went there. Is it like a pretty cool like brick building? I don't remember if they had brick or not.
This is up in Chicago.
Never mind. This is a local place.
Like, nope.
No. Yeah, we didn't drive to Chicago. At least Sunday.
I figured you didn't, but that's all right. It's a very interesting vibe, because you walk in and it's a workshop. There's
actual
fucking
employees
and people mildly roaming about, and then you kind of snake around a couple corners, and they've built themselves a fine little studio with I think they've got a couple live rooms, and then like an isolation room with just real gut-wrenching amp selections. The drums in Andy's live room, he played back just some of like the raw mic checks with virtually no processing other than whatever hardware gear he was running through, and it was just like, holy shit, man! Like, that
got it dialed in.
Yeah, those are like my final drum tracks. That's the shit,
and that's your warm up.
That's like he's putting that shit in the recycling bin.
It's crazy.
But
so he kind of specializes in like that heavy sound.
Yeah, Andy does. Andy does really anything, but I think his true love is real freak music, you know. Andy played guitar in Weekend Nachos with John for quite some time. Played in a band, still plays in a band, Like Rats from Chicago. And he's always got various different musical acts going on. He's a good man, a nice creative brain. Hello to Andy.
You would probably be proud of me. I've been listening to Weekend Nachos at the gym.
I'm very disappointed in you. I love Andy, but I do not support Weekend Nachos. I'm just kidding. That's not true. Yes, I'm double proud of you. That's great. Good for listening to Weekend Nachos, and good for listening to them at the gym.
Yeah. It pumps me up, man. It's cool stuff.
It's good. It's music for jocks. So
it works out.
Music for jocks.
Just a band full of jocks. That's all they are.
So they paid for your they did all the stuff for like your video and all that.
Yeah, Bridgeline helped us out big time with the record and the video, and like I said, they've just really been over the top with helping us in any aspect of promotion and creation of this record, which is super cool. We when we decided to do this record, we wanted to do it with Andy, and Andy being a big name in the field of what he does, comes with a good price tag, which is very well deserved. But we didn't want to pay for it because that would really just put a good hole in the money that we save.
Yeah,
which we do a phenomenal job of. We're a great financial band.
That's good.
But so we decided we've self-released everything else that we recorded through our drummer John's record label Bad Teeth, and that's just kind of how we did it, because it's always been the quickest and most affordable route to do it for what we do, and there's no better way to have complete and utter control over your final product than to just do it yourself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the whole ethos that we operate on.
That's kind of like the whole slogan.
Yeah. Do it yourself. If you don't know how, figure it out.
Right.
That's what we do. But sometimes it's cool to help other people do things and let other people help you do shit too.
Right.
And I just, like I said, we were a little apprehensive about reaching out to a label, just because, we had been a band for, at the time, I think 4 years, and have never, I don't think ever really had any interest from any labels. Like, no one was really ever knocking at our door to put shit out. Friends labels, smaller stuff, equivalent size of what we were doing, which is fine, but we wanted someone to pay for this.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like that the next level.
Yeah, and we got a hold of Chris and Ryan at Bridge 9, and they actually were over the top and had actually been trying to get a hold of us for a while, I guess, to see if we wanted to work together. And turns out the emails ended up in Antonio's junk file.
Classic, man.
So,
that shit does not work. Like, ever.
It just read spine in the subject title and said junk. Get that in the junk.
Like, it's like a chiropractor like coupon or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or just bad music. Get it But yeah, no, they've been great. Recording was great. The art for the record was really fucking stressful for a minute.
Why is that?
We thought we had an artist locked in to do. Antonio and John had kind of a specific vision of what they wanted for the cover, and just needed to find the right person to make that come to life. And we were in communications with someone for a while, and then all lines went silent, and we didn't hear from them, and like we were coming up pretty close on a deadline that we needed it for, and like it kind of got down to the wire where it was like, okay, we're just gonna have to find somebody else to do this, because this original person is not going to happen. And we ended up finding another artist through Instagram, I think, and Antonio got a hold of him and said, hey, this is what we're looking for, and they delivered a fine product. And the name eludes me because I don't know them as a human, but thank you.
As an entity,
yeah,
pretty cool.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
It is really fucking cool.
And
have you seen it? The cover art yet?
No.
Oh man, we'll have to show it to you. It's pretty cool.
I don't think I have.
It's really awesome.
But yeah, I think all nails have been nailed into the coffin of this record as far as production, and we're just kind of watching the clock right now, hoping.
That's probably a good feeling, though. You can finally sit back and enjoy it.
Not rushing it that last minute. Like, I'm sure when you guys are probably releasing it, you're like, it's like supposed to be released on like a certain date, and you're like uploading it or something, probably like very last, on to Bandcamp or whatever. Like, it's this shit gets definitely very stressful with deadlines, and especially when waiting on like press times for actual vinyl and whatnot. It kind of depends. There's so few companies pressing vinyl in the States.
So you guys
currently
actually press your records? Some of them?
We are going through. I think we usually go through a few different companies when we were doing it through Bad Teeth. I'm not sure who Bridge 9 is pressing the records through, but they quoted us a turnaround time that was spectacular in comparison to the turnaround times we were quoted for the small label, small press stuff that we were doing. So that was pretty surprising and
that's
cool.
A good upgrade.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So hopefully that reigns true, and we have records for June 3rd is the first of 2 record release shows we're doing. We're doing one in Chicago and one in Kansas City. The show in Kansas City is the 11th, if I'm not mistaken. I should have written dates down, but
It's all good.
Yeah, yes, June.
Okay.
And then, so the first show is the 3rd, Kansas City is the 11th, and then we're touring in between those.
I think the 11th is on a Monday, which is perfect because it's like my day.
Oh, that's
I
I
think
think your weekend started.
Yeah, I would say I think you are the only person that has that
Stoked on
sentiment that the record release being on a Monday is perfect.
Dude,
but
if it's on a Friday, fuck that.
in
I can't go.
classic Spine fashion, we are working around many different schedules,
It's
and
always the hardest part about a band.
it happened to land on Monday, and
Cool with it.
if a
Fuck
venue in
everyone else.
Kansas City that can host the size we're looking for says that they can do a show on a Monday,
That's what you get.
Yeah, you take their word for it, and hope
Is it
they
a-
don't cancel.
Is it at Davies?
It's at Davies, yeah.
Cool. Great
I'm
place,
excited. Yeah,
too.
no, good spot.
Good sound.
I like that
Definitely.
place.
Good sound. Good vibes. Good capacity. I like that the bar is separated from
Yeah.
the actual venue portion.
Yeah.
It
It's a
just
good-
makes for a much more comfortable environment for those who don't want to be forced into a Spine show.
Yeah.
You
You can go hang out.
Yeah,
It's a place you got to be completely aware of where you're at. When
yeah,
you're-
you might fucking get burned in the face with a road flare or hit with a fluorescent light bulb. Apparently,
Dusted,
Watch out,
assaulted. Yeah.
I remember that video shoot. I mean, I was just dying. Some of the shit. Like, I remember, I could feel. I was standing behind you guys, watching, like, behind the like kind of stage.
Yeah.
And I could feel at one point glass, but it flew past my face within inches, and I could feel the like G-force of like the glass blowing past
Incredible.
my face. Like
Time
could have
slowed
easily
down,
blinded you, blinded me for like forever.
Listen,
like
that's
it was
your dedication to the crew, baby.
it was something else, man.
That would have been the highest honor to lose. Just lose some
Lose
sense
your eyes.
over
Lose
a
one
show.
whole sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's about what Spine's got going on right now. We're playing Sound and Fury festival in California, in LA, in July. Yeah, dates evade me. Mid July. If you're going to the fest, you know when
That's
it
a
is.
pretty big.
Check us out. If not,
Is that kind of getting helped out from the label?
they helped facilitate it for
Okay.
sure. So we kind of a bonehead move. I totally forgot about Sound and Fury as a festival, which is silly because they're in my opinion one of the more appealing modern day hardcore fests. 2 days, chock full of a variety of different flavors of punk and hardcore in Los Angeles in the summertime. Like, cool. Game on.
Yeah,
Sign me
those
up.
are all great.
Yeah. I saw when they made their first announcement of bands. The first announcement was thick with some good shit. And I had been thinking about going out to LA to visit some friends over the summer anyway. And so I said, hey, I think I'm gonna attend this festival, which is highly unlike me. Not a big fan of music festivals, all day music,
Yeah.
especially
It's
fucking
tough.
punk. Yeah, but hardcore and punk for 10, 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's rough. And then you want me to do it days in a row.
About 3 hours is like plenty. for, like, a
Yeah.
while.
So I tend to avoid those types of things unless I'm obligated to be there. But I saw this and said, I want to go. And then said, wait a minute, we should just see if it's possible if we can play. I know it's kind of late.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, worst they can say is no, and I'll just end up going anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we kind of quietly knocked on their door and said, hey guys, do you think you could
Can we come in?
ask someone over in California if some Kansas City boys can come play? And they were like, dude, fuck yeah, like we don't know what they'll say because I think their lineup might be full, but we'd be more than happy to ask for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, they hit them up and they
Just
ended
worked
up squeezing us in. Yeah. So
That's really cool.
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. I'm very excited for that.
Sounds like a
get,
cool,
get the fuck out of get the fuck out of town for a minute, let alone go to LA in summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Get a little bit of a fresh view on things.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't fucking rain the whole time.
Yeah.
That'd be a real 10 out of 10 bummer. I'm not a fan of the rain, man. I don't like the rain. I know a lot of folks enjoy rain and say it calms them down.
Oh
but
yeah, they're like, I want to move to
rain stresses me out.
Seattle. Yeah.
Rain stresses me out.
Really?
Yeah,
I
which
kinda-
sucks because I do love the Northwest. I love Seattle and
Oh, no.
Portland.
I'm
and Olympia.
definitely one of those rain lovers.
Oh,
by the
dude.
way,
I don't know why. Like, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I just need sunlight. Rain.
I need it.
I forget
once-
about how much I like sunlight because I'm usually like, I fucking love the rain, and then once it's a sunny day, I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually good for
my
body.
relationship with
Yeah.
rain is very similar to snow, where it's like
Yeah.
once every now and then for like an appropriate amount is fine.
Yeah.
That's enjoyable, even I'll say.
That's fair.
But like multiple days of
Shit.
light shitty rain or torrential downpour,
Or like tornadoes for the past couple
Yeah.
days. You're like, oh,
it's
okay.
or just living in the Midwest in the wintertime
Yeah.
is bleak.
I could do.
It really takes a toll on your brain.
I could do 2 days of rain, 1 day of sun, and
That's
that
a
would
good
just be the
schedule.
That's your cycle life.
Yeah.
That'll be-
I'm glad we sorted out all this weather.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I was always curious on your guys'
On your
stance
stance.
on weather.
Yeah.
That's just a
Glad we-
like Midwestern thing, I think.
Well,
it's-
let's talk about the weather because we hate the weather here.
Yeah, because we're like, it actually affects our lives
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, fuck, a tornado made a fire blew through yesterday.
There's nothing better than like waking up on like a, you know, like a Saturday or whatever, and like you don't have to work, and it's like raining.
That's my
and you just
ideal day right there.
oh man, you just get to like you're just kind of laying in bed, and
It's an excuse to be lazy if you want, but you can still go out and do shit.
Yeah,
So-
I for sure can get down with that.
Yeah. You know, and that's just where I stand on it. So if you don't
Yeah.
fucking like it,
Listen, folks.
yeah.
Here at
not
the
a-
cast,
not not asking questions here.
we draw hard lines about weather.
Right.
take hard stances. Some of you may disagree.
So yeah, that I think is officially all that's going on with Spine currently.
It sounds like it's going in a good direction.
Yes,
Which is nice.
and
Starting to pay off a bit.
I haven't seen any paychecks yet.
Well,
Still
you
waiting
know,
on that.
I don't mean, like,
they may have got my.
fiscally,
If
of
anybody
course.
who owes me money has got my address wrong, please contact me
Please,
via
I'll
the
correct you.
podcast, and we can sort out any monetary issues.
It's rich in experience, is what I mean.
Yes,
It's
yes, I'm
you are
I'm,
a wealthy man.
Scrooge McDuck in living in a van now, traveling around the country.
So what are your guys' like shows like on the road? Is it I mean, compared to here? Like we kind of talked about how shows in Kansas City are, but when you guys are on the road, what is that?
It's interesting. It's sometimes a gamble, which I think is a very normal thing for most bands of any genre.
Just the way of the
Especially, yeah, you know, in this day and age when anybody can form a band and go on tour in like less than 6 months. There's a lot of shit to be sifted through. And generally outside of the Midwest, folks have no idea what or where Kansas City is or why they should care about anything from such a place.
I barely know.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it can be tough to pull crowds in New York City, especially when we were, like, our first tour to New York. Like, boy, no one's coming to this, huh?
Was it just like completely out of your comfort
I
zone? On it?
tend to block out most shows from the Northeast.
Bad times.
My apologies to any friends in the Northeast, but I generally don't have a great time in your neck of the woods. And it's not because of the shows or turnouts or anything like that.
We
It's
ain't
just,
city folk.
it's just something about being shoulder to shoulder with every single human in miles radius of you.
You
It
just
just stresses me out. I don't.
You just described a nightmare.
Yeah.
Totally
I
get
don't.
that.
I don't enjoy the congestion. Even Chicago
That's how
pisses me
yeah,
off.
That's how I felt when I went and
when it
visited.
comes to oversaturation of human beings. But that's just me, and
Some people love it. But
you know, being kind of a lonesome Midwesterner.
Yeah.
I do enjoy my space and my quiet time. So the East Coast stresses me out quite a bit until you get down to like DC, Richmond, Carolinas.
yeah, they
That's
seem
when
a
the
little
East Coast
more-
becomes very incredible to me, and I love just that mid-Atlantic. The scene through that area has been for the last fucking eternity, just incredible and thriving, and they're always cranking out new benchmark shit for various different styles of music and art and culture, and I think the geography and the scenery through Appalachia, through coming Midwest into that area is some of my favorite in the country. So I generally love East Coast tours just for that mid-Atlantic region.
So I've
and
never
then-
been east really.
It's
haven't either.
and it's different for every person. Everybody feels different. I know a lot. Antonio has family from New York and loves the Northeast. So she loves being up there, and to each their own. I'm much more of a Rocky Mountains, wide open plains kind of fella.
Every man's got a plot of land.
Yeah, for sure. But it's hard to beat for me personally. I just love going west. The West Coast is. Mm-hmm. It's just always a good time, man. There's never a dull moment out there.
That's for sure. Yeah.
And everybody's high on the West Coast, so it's so chill. Like
there's no just like fights.
LA's always going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's just a fuck ton of people.
But it's pain in the asses like that are a lot more bearable when you can have weed delivered to you.
Yeah. You can call a guy.
It makes like 2.5 hours worth of traffic totally fine.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
That's
not
the
the coolest shit ever, I don't know what is. So
Yeah. Really watered down.
and that goes all the way up the coast. So
Yeah.
that's I'm team West Coast for the chill vibes and the sunlight.
Good times and chill vibes.
Yeah, the timeline kind of smooths out there a little bit.
Most certainly. And now getting to the West from the Midwest can be a real test of mental fortitude.
Yeah.
As far as like actually literally traveling it.
Yeah, so you're either going to go like from where we are, you're going to go south on like a tour route probably through Texas and the Southwest, which means a lot of fucking cool ass driving through the desert if you have a vehicle that is well equipped enough and has working air conditioning and isn't going to leave you on the side of the road, which ours has a habit of doing, which is fun. But or you go through like Colorado, Salt Lake City up to the Northwest, and that's also just some real fucking beautiful, mind-blowing bullshit right smack dab in the middle of the country. Like going up through the mountains into like Utah, Salt Lake City area was insane. It's and it kind of floored me because I was a stubborn American about my geography and didn't realize the first time I went out there that the Rocky Mountains extended past Colorado. Stupid.
I didn't know that.
But I like mountains. They're big and cool, and we're from the land of grassy hills,
flat stuff.
Yeah, grassy hills, which are like D- grade mountains.
Right.
Just the most bootleg mountains ever. So seeing real ones,
You get to see the real deal.
yeah, it's fucked up. I love it. I love it. I love traveling, and getting to travel, and also like being able to do it without hardly sinking any money into it.
That's the best part. Yeah.
And just being able to like travel the country, playing music that I wrote with my friends for like literally 15 minutes a night.
Yeah.
It's like
so much effort
to air quotes to real musicians. It's mind blowing to them that like punk bands will go out and tour on like a 15-minute set.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's I'm way into that.
No,
like
it's cool.
And there are certain touring hardcore and punk bands that do play longer, and I thoroughly enjoy and support them playing longer. But with Spine and Devil's Den, we can get away with just fucking beating the shit out of you sonically for 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, Devil's Den's been playing a string of sets lately where the average set length is like 6 minutes, and we play like 8 or 9 songs, maybe not 9, but
that's crazy.
Just pounding through them. but that's kind of that's the appeal.
I
of
just
it.
pictured like basically just like an adrenaline rush for 9 minutes.
That's literally what it is. I was telling Dan earlier that playing drums in Devil's Den is like It's like a P90X workout.
Sounds
It's just
like it.
just see how fucking hard you can go for like the next maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's-
try not
that's all you
to
gotta
try not to
do.
puke in front of everybody who's watching
Save it for later.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, those 10 or 15 minute sets sometimes will make such an impression on you that it's like you don't even really realize that that's how fast it was. Like it does.
Time slows down.
It could have easily been a normal length set, and you can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
because it's so.
and those are some of my favorite sets that I've seen from
assaulting.
Spectator standpoint are ones that literally just kick your ass. They just don't stop, and they just roll and roll and roll.
Yeah, Spine
and then
rolls
it's done.
into the next song over and over.
And
That's cool. Yeah.
you fall into this weird time warp of how long was I just watching this, and you look at your phone and it's been like 10 minutes.
But you're like, what?
Like, I don't know what day it is, but okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. I'm gonna buy that record for sure. That band rocks.
It's a very, very unique experience. For sure.
But then on the flip side of that coin, I get to play guitar in bands like Inner Altar. That we can, as a, you could call it a rock and roll proto heavy metal band, a la Black Sabbath, Pentagram, real first wave dark evil shit. That is a band that I love because we can relish the fact that we can play for 35 minutes if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And kind of draw it out and make a little more of a spectacle about it, because it's...
Yeah, you guys could pull off like an hour, I bet.
I don't know about that. We
I don't know.
we haven't played that long, but I mean, a good longer set from Inner Altar is fun, just because those songs... I got really lucky to join that band. They had been a band for 2 or 3 years before I joined, and I'd recorded their first 2 tape releases that they did, and kind of quietly tugged on their shirt sleeve ever since. Like, hey man, I really want to fucking play guitar in your band. Like,
Hey,
let
mister.
me play guitar. Let me play. Yeah. Let me play guitar. And then finally, I think I annoyed them enough to where they finally just let me do it.
They're like, obviously he knows all the songs by now.
I for sure did. I studied. But we showed up to practice like the first time and ran through it, and everybody went, all right, fuck, that was cool. Let's keep doing this. This is fun.
That's great. Yeah.
So we're actually working on an LP right now that I am engineered and am now mixing and tweaking and stressing over. And
it's a new baby.
yeah, it's certainly working on a band like Inner Altar from a recording standpoint is a little bit different than what I'm used to. It's a little bit outside the box of punk, where I can throw a few compressors and EQs around
Just
and
make it loud. And make it
put some
punchy.
shitty tape emulation on it, and cool, this is good. This sounds exactly like I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Right.
Done.
Inner Altar rides the fine line of where I want to sound. I want this to sound very good and well
a little
performed.
bit of clarity.
But also, I want it to sound old. We kind of sound like an old rock band. I want it to sound like a cool record that was recorded in the 70s. 'Cause, as we spoke earlier, that's
kind of what you're going
that's
for.
kind of what we're about.
Yeah.
That shit's cool. So I'm working on that right now. We're gonna do that through our buddy Josh, who runs the company.
The actual label.
Yes, the record label is The Company. You can find them all over the internet at The Company KC. But they did the Keith Mountain LP.
Yeah.
And
that's some stuff right there.
they did Hyborian's last record as well, a local band.
Sounds like that's just a cool name. Hyborian.
And Josh, who does The Company, does phenomenal graphic design work, and so all of his records and layouts are super well done. And so we're very excited to do the record and do it with him, and as long as my bandmates don't kill me in the meantime for taking so long on trying to get it perfect. It should be out sometime soon.
Yeah.
Fans and listeners, sometime.
One of these days.
Fans, listeners, bandmates, fucking sometime, man. Give me a break. I'm trying to make something good.
Right? You had a really cool way of explaining it earlier.
Refresh me. What did I say?
You said it's been a while.
What was so cool about it now?
You were talking about how it's kind of like almost like if music would have kind of continued on that path.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So
that was kind of cool.
yeah, just kind of like the vibes, I suppose, that we're going for with Inner Altar would be picking up where those bands, the early first wave heavy metal kind of took off, and then, in my opinion, kind of wavered and nosedived shortly afterwards. But I know I'm going to catch a bunch of bullshit for that, so kiss my ass in advance. Just kind of picking it up from there and carrying it in the direction that we intend to take it. Putting a mild twist on it. We're all kind of from similar hardcore and punk related backgrounds, so that influence gets brought into it quite a bit. But we like to plug it in subtly. We don't blend it too often. It still has its own kind of flavor to it.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it or oversaturate it.
But
We try to appeal to as many crowds as possible, because it's weird playing in a band that sounds like a band from the 70s, because you don't really know who your target audience is.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm trying to get dads to come to the show, or like their kids who are my age, or both of them, or fucking neither of them. I don't know who cares about this except for us. Because Inner Altar as a band, we as a unit haven't played a ton outside of the city, and Kansas City being as small as it is for independent music. I don't want to say it's been difficult for us to build a fan base, but there's not necessarily like a home base for us to fit in as a band genre wise. So we could play as many hardcore shows as we want to, but we're not a hardcore band. So it's we're kind of nudging our nose around all over the place, trying to find more people that are interested in this shit, that are willing to be an active participant in some sort of music scene. I know it's a stretch to ask these days, but
right.
It's a tall order for sure.
Yeah, I know there's people out there that still enjoy rock and roll, so
come out of the woodworks.
Come out and see Inner Altar.
Yeah, come see Inner Altar.
Join our
we'll
guild.
we'll rock you one time.
Do you guys have any upcoming shows scheduled?
Yes, actually, we're playing like in a few days. I don't know when this podcast will come out.
Probably it'll probably be Monday.
The day of the show. It'll probably be out there.
Yeah, no, we're playing the 8th, which is Tuesday, I believe.
Oh,
So maybe in time for that.
Yeah,
Tomorrow there isn't.
I believe it's the 8th. I could have every date I've said this evening could be completely wrong, but I'm going with my gut on it. We're actually playing a hardcore show at Revolution Records. Regional Justice Center is coming through town. The sweet and lovely Jacob Westfall, who
It's a sweet boy.
is currently kind of the backbone of our scene here, as far as maintaining one and making sure that we have shows to go to and places to see them at.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's
You're lucky you guys got someone to do that.
he's a man that lives for keeping this shit alive, and for that I'm eternally grateful.
Yeah.
He is doing that show.
It's almost like a thankless job he got there. Like,
Yeah, he's those dogs coming. But other than that, I don't know we've got anything going on. We have a guest in the studio.
Jeez.
Oh, you're not gonna beer over, dog. You're gonna make us edit all of this out.
It's all right.
You happy now?
Anyway.
So anyway, yeah.
So yeah, Inner Altar. That's
So we got a show coming up on the 8th.
yeah. That's all I can think of off the top of my noggin right now. I think
Okay.
we're trying to pump the brakes a little bit on shows until we get some more of this record out.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. And then Devil's Den. I don't know, didn't talk much about Devil's Den, but
Yeah.
there's not much to say. We're fairly new. Kind of from the ashes of Blindside, popped out Devil's
Blindside
Den.
V2.
Yeah, it's it's all of us minus David, and it just got faster and a little meaner. David's got the groove to him. There's something about David Chavez as a frontman that brings an unmistakable groove to anything he does.
Olivia. Dude, every time.
Oh.
Get down.
She's just a lover.
Yeah, she's an alright dog. No, she's great. I really do love her very much.
She has to say hi to Jim.
Hey, don't
Come on now.
fling it.
She was probably whining, and Gloria was like, "Okay, fuck this," and then she
Yeah.
opened the door and unleashed her on us.
So honestly, I'm cool with because I like this dog.
No, yeah, she's a great dog.
Come over
She's
here.
a sweetie.
But she could have waited.
She could have waited like just a few minutes more.
Come over here. We're talking about Chavez, David Chavez.
Oh yeah.
Had a
He
vi- had a
does.
had a vibe to him as a frontman for Blindside that was just really brought something fucking wild to the table, in inexplicable style, you may say.
Style is like the absolute perfect word.
Yeah, and not that Max doesn't have that with
No.
Devil's Den, but it's just, anybody who knows David knows that you just can't explain it. It's
Yeah.
it's just Dave. That's just how he rolls, man.
It's like somebody, if you described him to somebody who didn't know him, that you wouldn't believe that he existed.
Yeah,
He sounds like a future man that came back in time.
Yeah, no, you
Teach us.
You can't put that man in a bottle. He's too much creative energy.
Yeah,
He's a yeah.
But yeah, so
it's a force.
Devil's Den is just basically like the most raw, stripped down version of a hardcore punk that we care to write and perform. And it's fucking cool because Max, our singer, really does the most of the writing, musically and obviously lyrically, and just kind of one day out of nowhere just started cranking shit out, and it was all just incredible. And we didn't really ask any questions. We're just like, oh fuck,
Let
all
him
right,
roll, yeah.
Max is like a lunatic madman that can write songs like a machine. Like, wind him up and let him go.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what we've been doing, and just using it as a science experiment to see how far we all can physically push ourselves within the limitations of punk and performing it. It's been interesting. I'm learning shit about my arms and playing drums that I haven't known for the last 10 years. So
right.
yeah, it's weird, but that band is fun. That Devil's Den keeps me youthful.
Keeps you
Keep
trying to
toes.
evolve.
Yeah. I think if I just played an Inner Altar and Spine, who plays 5 times a year,
You get out of shape.
I'd be much more of an old man than I already am.
Yeah, you would.
So
You would get out of shape.
yeah, Devil's Den's for the youth,
all the kids out there.
youth core.
So how do you stay motivated in all this? Like, I feel like you've got all this stuff going on, and like, I feel like pretty much every night, do you have something going on?
Yeah, no, I don't don't have free time really.
Like, how do you stay motivated through that? Because that's something that
it is hard sometimes because if your hobby and your escape from real life becomes more consuming and stressful than real life is, then there's issues at hand.
It's pretty conflicting.
And I think that may be one reason why I'm in 3 fucking active bands right now. Is just to keep things from getting stale, but that keeps me busy and on my toes, and in order to just keep from getting stale on playing music in general, I pick up other hobbies like recording and producing it, or fucking working on guitars, or shit that's not even music related, like working on motorcycles and
just keeping your mind busy,
building shit out of pieces of wood, like
joinery.
Literally just stuff to let my mind escape and wander. I do a lot of very shitty graphic design.
It's just the obligatory, like,
bad,
this is super bad.
Bad illustrations that no one will ever see, but it keeps my brain occupied when I start to feel a little fizzled out on music, which is like clearly my life passion.
Right.
And so it's important to have those other outlets for me to keep from burning myself out on like the one thing I'm good at.
Yeah. And that all sounds like pretty productive, like for the most part. Like you're actually you're going to end up with something.
There's a fine line, because you start to overload yourself with too many hobbies, and then you have too many to be productive in any of them.
Kind of a jack of all trades.
You can't perfect anything if you've got too much shit on your plate like that. So I like to. I don't have. I'm very bad with routines. I don't have like a set routine of like
a schedule.
This is what day all of my bands are practicing every week, and this is what day I've got set aside for recording, and this, that, and the other. So it's literally just like a day by day thing of how my weird brain is feeling that day. And it's like, what do you want to do today? It's like, not anything fucking music related. It's
right.
Like, cool.
It's roll with that.
Yeah, it's my day off, and I'm going to watch fucking outer space documentaries all day. I'm going to learn about something else besides music for once today.
Take a break.
But it takes about a day of that, and then I'm like fiending for it again.
Yeah.
Like I get weird if I go like a day or two without playing guitar. I start to get like uneasy and
fidgety.
I don't immediately realize like why I feel off, and then it's like, oh, you haven't picked up a guitar in like 2 days, like you better hop to it. You got some demons that got to get out.
That's something that's I go through a similar phase, but it's like a little bit longer and like more drawn out, because it'll be like maybe like a week of like every day, and all of my free time doing something music related, and then it might be like 2 weeks, but then like I know every day it starts to like bother me more and more.
Dude, that last tour that Blindside did was it was 2 weeks, just 2 weeks straight of playing drums. I didn't touch a guitar for 2 weeks, and it was fucking weird. I was itching to like restring guitars.
Really?
Yeah, to just mindlessly restring guitars. Like I need to go back to my 9 to 5 guitars and start just fixing guitars and
fixing Fenders.
I need hands on strings immediately, because I'm going insane. I don't know, something about it.
That's really
That's
cool.
another question that just reminded me of. Do you, because you play drums as well as guitar, has that noticeably changed the way you listen to music or like write music? Like, can you switch between guitar and drum mode?
Yes, and I think it all just kind of depends on what I'm writing, style wise. But if it's anything aggressive, for me, it usually starts with some sort of drum beat in my head. Something pops into my head, and it just keeps looping and looping until I put it down in one way or another.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I either, record a scratch drum track for it, or even just like program out MIDI drums in GarageBand or something, just so I can hear it outside of my head.
That's the
I feel like
thing there.
a riff almost immediately follows after that, and it may not be anything close to the final riff, but
it's something,
something pops into my head immediately off of that drum beat. And most of my writing, like I said, in any sort of heavy music, stems from that. But anything outside of that, it's I have been playing a arguably way too much acoustic guitar lately. I've been playing a lot of country music and just quiet music.
Punk. Yeah.
And obviously that shit is all very melody driven when it comes to writing. So that stuff, I feel like, especially when you're writing kind of formulaic country stuff, the rhythm section tends to follow a very A-B pattern.
Yeah,
that's totally fine to
just
be.
Depends on the type of music.
Yeah, it's totally fine that it can be kind of formulaic and boring, because it's part of the style, and when it all comes together, it's just another ingredient.
Right.
It's like you could listen to like a country song with no drums, but you couldn't really listen to a punk song with no drums.
That would be a terrible punk song, more than likely.
It's kind of the main focus. Dog, what are you doing? Well, on that note,
like driving everything. What just happened?
She just knocked
pulled
over
the interface off.
Yeah, it's still going.
Are we still
We're
rolling?
fine.
Yeah,
all right.
It landed okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's kind of the driving. That's like the skeleton of the entire thing. It doesn't really exist without the.
You can't take away the
main ingredient.
I do a lot of writing on my own, and a lot of it is just kind of defragging my brain. Not much of it ever sees the light of day, and really, it may not even be good, because I don't go back and listen to a ton of it. But it's all at the time kind of mindless. I just go into like a bit of like a wormhole, and just kind of write it out, and
just gotta get it out of your head.
Yeah, it's just musical journalism, really.
Yeah. The equivalent of just writing down, taking notes every day.
Exactly. But there's something about writing music with people that are on the same wavelength as you, which is to bring it all back in. Like the first time the three of us plus the two other knuckleheads got together to practice for Spellbook as the 5-piece unit that we are.
Right.
It was just one of those things where it's like, this shouldn't make any sense at all, but this totally fucking worked the first time.
Yeah.
Like
within 30 seconds.
Without any reason or explanation at all. It just clicked, and everybody was like, okay, cool, this is what we do now.
Yeah.
This is our band.
Yeah.
And just being creative with other creatives on your level is the shit I live for. Highly endorsed.
Yeah, this is all stuff, like what you're talking about right now is all stuff that I had not really become aware of until pretty recently. Like I always, I would experience it, but I would never really paid much attention to what was happening.
Yeah.
And when you really start to pay attention to it, it really is kind of a whole different thing. Even what we're doing right now is very much like an exercise almost.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah. I feel nervous still about just coming and hanging out here. So that's how I know that it's something that I'm stretching out of my comfort zone to do.
Yeah, and getting, like you're saying, getting on the people with the same level and just
Yeah.
go like
You find your peers eventually.
Yeah.
So that we can all try to exist in the way that we envision
yeah.
things should be. Like,
Yeah, most certainly. And I think when you're on the same creative wavelength as someone, it's very easy for both parties or all parties involved to immediately recognize it without even having to speak of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why this is probably like the first time it's ever been like spoken of.
Exactly.
In this setting.
It's weird how the universe draws people together like that.
Mm-hmm. So I started working with these artists on a project. I was making some music for this kind of like mini documentary they're working on, and went over to one of the guys' houses. I've known this guy for a little while, but he had a roommate, and they have a really cool like kind of studio set up in their like garage. They've got it. It almost felt like you like did not feel like you were in somebody's garage. It almost felt like a startup of like a company. Like
Very nice.
Very like I got there instantly, and it was like deep connection, like instant where you start like you're just talking to somebody and you start like feeding off of each other.
Yeah,
You
just
guys
click with them immediately.
Same wavelength. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's crazy how like I even if you really like take a step back and look at how you even get to like meet certain people, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a crazy amount of things that have to line up for certain shit to happen.
Yeah,
Nothing makes sense.
It
when
doesn't
you think
make
about
sense
it.
a lot of the times, but I find it best not to question things like that.
Yeah. Just gotta let it happen.
Yeah,
as it
it
goes.
ends up in usually me overthinking, and then my head starts to spin, and it's the scene in Tommy Boy where it just fucking freaks out, and destroys everything that just happens in my head. So just
Gotta be here now.
exactly. Go with the flow. You
Yeah.
know, you meet the right folks to make good creative art with, and you don't look back.
It's like even like this right now is a certain crazy amount of events had to line up for us to even be having this conversation right now. Like you could trace it, you could like infinitely trace it back, but I mean like I like to think about stuff like that pretty often.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's kind of cool. Like it would have been like meeting Jimmy at some point, and there would have been obviously crazy shit that lined up to that. But then Jimmy working,
Guitar
and getting me a job, and
Yeah.
then meeting you, and then meeting all these other people, and like this happening. It's like this crazy alignment of like
Some
Weird cosmos.
I would say some like to point to various different supernatural forces, whether they be a deity or the universe itself, or just fate.
Yeah.
And you know, I
think
like I said, I
pure randomness is enough.
Yeah, I try not to look
shocking
into it
enough
too
for me.
much.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how the things in life end up.
Just that they got there.
Yeah, it's how they got there, and you know what you make of it.
yeah.
Damn. You just blew up my mind.
Well, and we made the spell book in a podcast episode, so
Yeah, those are just the two things. Yeah, that's we played one spellbook show and we have one podcast. But no, I've enjoyed it. Certainly, I think
it's been a good ride. It's
So far, so good.
Yeah.
It definitely will be done again. I feel like it should.
I'd love to come back, talk some more.
I feel like we can really get into some.
Oh,
I don't know.
we've got
Some woo-hoo
things
shit.
to discuss.
We just
yeah.
scratched the
A
surface.
lot of this was just administrative detail.
This is introductory
on
stuff.
What I've been up to in my
We're catching
bands.
up. Yeah.
Right.
But no, we can dig in some rabbit holes later.
Yeah.
down the road.
I need to tell America how I feel about some things.
We need to get some things straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, you have Kansas City show coming up with Spine. We talked about that.
Yes, June
11th,
the 11th.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. So if people want to come out to that, they definitely I would urge them to.
Highly encouraged.
Yes.
If you've never seen Spine before, and you have any mild interest in doing so, or you've got 20 minutes and a couple bucks to spare, come check it out. It'll be a good time. If you have seen Spine before, I expect to see you there. It's your moral obligation.
Yes.
As a member of the Spine crew.
Yeah, if anybody is like, if wanting to go and wants to ride with me, they can come. Like, I would be down with that.
Yeah, any
crew transportation will be provided.
Any human being that has any inkling of an interest in punk, hardcore, alternative music of any genre.
If you want to if you just want to see some really weird.
Or if you're just into
Spectacle
like
sport.
Cool people watching.
That's a great location for that.
Please come and come back to more shows. Don't just come to Spine shows.
And then start liking it. And
yeah.
And then you're
or don't. Just do whatever you want. Come on, fuck.
And then the LP, does it actually come out on the 11th?
I believe the 15th is the general release date, and as previously stated, that's probably wrong, but
it's like around.
keep your eyes peeled. Mid June-ish.
Wait till the 15th, and if it's not out, you just keep waiting a little longer.
Just keep checking.
And then you guys do have a single out from the LP
We
on Spotify and Bandcamp and all that.
Apple Music, Spotify, all your flavor of the month streaming,
local dealers, and
Yep, and it's that's the same song we did the video for. So
Warm Now Cold, right?
Yeah. If you wanted a different song, sorry, kiss my ass.
You can't have it.
Yeah, you don't get a video and a different song. Come on now.
Right. Well, thanks so much for coming, and
Thanks for having me, guys. This was good.
We will do it again, I'm sure.
Please.
Great hanging out.
Would love to be back.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear the outro music for this episode.
It's going to be dead silence.
There isn't any.
Cool.
Good. It just clips to the next episode.
Well, then this is the outro.
All right.
Bye, guys.